Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth. Thank you for tuning into the Metal Forge. I am Mark Jackson and I am your host. The premise of the show is pretty simple. Awesome interviews and awesome music. If you want to contact me, hit me up at metalforgeradio@gmail.com or visit the website metalforgeradio.com. And now, let's get this show on the road. What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of The Metal Forge. Holy fucking shit. We have the main violator here today, Athenar from the band Midnight. And Athena and I will be talking to him momentarily. But fucking first, how are you all doing? I'm doing alright, I suppose. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like shit. Honestly. Had some shit happen earlier this week that I fucking feel deeply awful about. And yeah, I don't know what to say. Shit sucks sometimes, man. Like, Seriously, and y'all have heard me before being an advocate for mental health and all of that stuff, and always seek options. Don't dump unnecessary shit on your support structure. Unfortunately, seek professional help, because sometimes you might say shit that is hurtful, and you will tear shit up, and hopefully it can be repaired. Sometimes it can't be, which fucking sucks ass, and I really don't know what to say about it, really at a loss here. But no, I enough on that. I it's hard sometimes, let's just say that. So earlier in the week, I posted a question. Holy shit, I haven't posted one of these questions in such a long time. And this week's question was, what band do you think is a trend to throw shade on? And you know what? I got some really cool answers to this, and they're pretty common answers. Obviously, Ghost is a popular band to throw shade on these days. Obviously, Metallica has been a band to throw shade on. Green Day is a band that people have thrown shade on. And of course, it's crazy, because it's like, yeah, these bands paved ways. Well, maybe not necessarily Ghost, but like some of these bands like Metallica and Green Day paved ways for other bands to be big and stuff like that, and to be noticed. And yeah, I think there is a big trend in the gatekeeping community of metal that, it's cool to throw shade on something that, has become somewhat mainstream. And I think that sucks. But, not everything can be as underground as it was at the beginning. That's just my opinion on it. It's my hot take, I guess you could say. But anyways, no, we're gonna keep this week short and sweet, and I want to know from you all, who do you think is a band that is a trend to throw shade on? Obviously, Metallica, Ghost, Five Finger Death Punch, Nickelback, Green Day. Somebody actually said Belushi Speedball is a band that is a trend to throw shade on. I don't get that, because I thought everybody loves Belushi Speedball. I mean, fuck, who doesn't? So yeah, if you guys know anybody that is a trend band out there that people throw shade on for no reason, shit, hit me up, shoot me a message. I want to hear about it. I want to know who you think is out there. Comment on the posts. I made them on both the Metal Forge Instagram and Facebook page. AC/DC came up from Jason, from the Heavy Metal Wasteland, and I think a lot of people throw shade on AC/DC undeservedly, because fuck, man, it's AC/DC, right? I mean, it's seriously, it's fucking AC/DC. I mean, fuck, man, what else can you get? But anyways, no, I do want to go out and thank the sponsor, Shadebeast, Ageless Art Tattoo and Piercing in both New Albany and Clarksville. Shout outs to older people out there as well. Mom's Music, Maxwell's House of Music, Better Days Records. Always, just so many people. Shadebeast, shit, and they're all escaping me right now. Soulgrinder Zine, Mercenary Press, Unchained Tapes, all these awesome fucking people. The Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. If you have Ghost Podcast, all these awesome fucking people out there are here trying to make the scene better for everybody. So seriously, check their pages out, check their shows out, check their stores out. Go get pierced, go get tattooed, go get instruments, go get gear, go listen to some awesome shows while you do it, because that's what this is fucking about, is being in the camaraderie, being in there with everybody else, support structuring for everybody, kicking ass with everybody, because that's all we have in the end of the day is each other, and I'm really at a loss this week sometimes, man. So let's go ahead and check out some Midnight here. They did actually release a new album this past year. We're going to listen to a track from that right now. This is Villainy, Wretched Villainy. All right, maniacs. This week we have, Athenar from Midnight here. Athenar, nice to actually talk to you on the phone. And we have Athena back this week, from Metal Mischief, Thrashers and Destroyers, and Better Days Records. She's here to talk to Athenar with us.
Fuck yeah, I'm here.
So, how the fuck are y'all both doing?
Ladies first.
Oh man, I'm good. I went to the Overload show last night with Sinistrum and Eulogy of Blood, and it was a good time. And I kind of lost my voice, so
that's right.
I'm good.
That's a sign of a good gig. Then once you lose your voice, right?
Absolutely. So that's about how I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, similar last night. Yeah, we had our first band rehearsal since getting back from tour last year, so my voice is kind of very low and shot as well.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't suspect anything less, because when you're on stage, you really, you go full on. I mean, and obviously you have to.
Yeah.
But with the real gravelly vocal like you have, how do you maintain that through, like, I know you've been doing it for years, and so you're accustomed to it, but is there any techniques out there that you do to try and maintain?
Well, getting to be an old fuck certainly does not help it, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
But the easiest thing is just sleep and stay hydrated. I mean, that's the easiest thing, and stay away from spicy foods, I guess.
Oh,
that kind of thing. But yeah, that's about what it is. It's pretty simple. Rest is the best thing.
Oh, and Athena knows why I just said "oh shit" there when you said stay away from spicy foods.
Oh,
because we're both hot sauce fanatic. We love spice.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, no, damn, I'm as fucking white as it gets, man. I can't do spicy stuff.
Oh,
I get like what's his face, Ben Stiller and whatever the hell that movie that was, where he just starts sweating like crazy or whatever, and if he eats like a hot pepper and shit, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I can't hang.
I totally get it. Athena, what were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I was just giggling.
Oh. So, Midnight. This is something that started back in, from what I see on the Metal Archives, back in 2003, but it was supposed to be kind of like a side project when you were still in the band Boulder. Is that correct?
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah, I mean, it was just something to do. Like anything in life, it's something to do. But but it just it never seemed like I needed. I always felt like, oh, okay, I can do more. And then it only took whatever the hell 8 years to come out with a full length album. So which is pretty much my schedule.
Definitely
taking forever.
Well, I mean, you seem like you've got quite a bit of releases since then. So
yeah, since then I've been on the ball a little more.
Okay, so tell me about how because we just established that it was a side project thing. So what made you change your mind into taking it into a full band setup?
Well, basically it was because I was tired of being in a band, like being in a band with dudes. It was good. We were all friends, and we made music and did all the usual band type things, including not agreeing on stuff. So for me, I just wanted the music that I heard in my head to be what came out, So that was the easiest thing for me. Just like, okay, well, I just want to make music that I want to hear. That's all. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely.
So that's what made it be an actual something to continue with. Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty common answer for being a musician myself. It's, we all have our influences and the bands that we look up to and all of that. And we all kind of just sit there and say, I really want to hear this music. This is what I do in my band is the same thing. It's like, well, we have our own brand of thrash with a little bit of sludge mixed in, and and Midnight to me, there's no other band that sounds like you all.
Well, that's a good compliment. I appreciate that. I kind of think the same way. I'm not saying that's not a good or bad thing to say. Like for me to say, I think, but I don't really, like it or love it. I don't give a shit, or like it or hate it, I should say. Yeah. I mean, it's for as much as people say, okay, it's just a mix up of Venom and Motorhead. It really isn't. I mean, sure, those are definitely two of my faves, and definitely two of main injections in my bloodstream. But yeah, I think it still sounds pretty different. I mean, when Venom came out, they just said it sounded like they put Black Sabbath and Motorhead in a cement mixer, and then that's what you get with Venom. So it's all the same kind of shit. You're going to get referenced forever. So
yes,
whatever.
Absolutely.
But you guys definitely have a unique sound. Your tuning is unique and everything. And yeah, I'm with Mark. You guys definitely stand out as having a different sound, so to speak. And yeah, I can hear some of the Venom influence or whatever you might say, but you guys are definitely unique.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, and it's maybe even in today's era of highly processed stuff, and the non-usage of real amplification. Just it's very, in my opinion, unmetal. A lot of the it's like when I was a kid, the reason why I got into metal and the reason why I still am into metal is just because I want to hear it raw. I like to hear actual instruments, electric instruments. I want to hear mistakes. I want to hear some performance, whether it's deemed good or bad. But I just don't want to hear cut and paste, copy, color by numbers shit.
No, I agree with that 100%. And whereas, I know a lot of bands, mine included, where we've actually went to playing through our own direct system, it's definitely a thing these days. And the rawness and everything, everything in metal with its flaws and, cuts and scratches and, all of that is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the whole package.
That's the way, at least you go through history of rock and roll era music. Of course, Chuck Berry and Little Richard don't sound anything like Led Zeppelin to a certain listener. Like, if you're a 14-year-old kid and you just got into Led Zeppelin in 1970, you're probably like, Chuck Berry and Little Richard is old hat, but Led Zeppelin still like them, but they're very different. And it's the same thing now, like maybe, the people who are listening to, people like me listening to, the first Dio album came out, and then someone who's just listening to, I don't even know what's current. I'm just going to say Lamb of God because I don't know any better. I'm an ignorant fuck. So, I'm sure they've been around for 30 years now anyway, too, probably. But Lamb of God sounds nothing like Dio,
Right.
But it's still considered the same genre of metal. It's put under, like to the random fuck that lives across the street from you who doesn't really know what heavy metal is. To him, the same thing. If you wear a black shirt that says Dio on it or a black T-shirt that says Lamb of God on it, it's the same thing to a person that doesn't know metal.
Yeah.
But so I mean, it's but to us, it's very different. At least to me, it is.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
So
I agree too.
Same kind of thing.
Definitely. So you all actually had an album come out in 2020 right before lockdown, which is Rebirth by Blasphemy.
Yep.
So how did that...
Perfect Cleveland timing.
Yes. Absolutely. So obviously this past year in 2022, you all released Let There Be Witchery. Totally made my my top list of albums of the year. And
made mine too.
And
cool.
and Athena's as well. So how did doing the album release in 2020, did it change the dynamic for Midnight?
It didn't really change anything for me because, like we mentioned, I think before, just you and I were talking, nothing really changes much for me anyway. I'm still stuck in my little bubble of my area. Nothing much changes. So I mean, like the actual dynamic of the recording side of Midnight, it's the same, and it'll probably continue to be the same. It's just me recording everything, pretty low key, pretty rough and raw, pretty DIY. So, but live, that was the only thing. We just couldn't play live, of course, with the El Corona going on, and like I said, the Metal Blade debut is released, and then all of a sudden, the world shuts down. So it was just perfect timing.
Right.
We had lots of time to sit around and listen to music.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, because you said the recording side never changes. Now, when lockdown happened, were you stuck at home, or did you actually have a job that you had to, that you still reported to?
No, I pretty much just hung at home. I did a lot of recording, and so I got a shit ton of stuff recorded. I got probably music until 2029 to be
Holy
released.
Shit!
So I mean, so who knows? Maybe from then we'll have like another shutdown or another whatever the hell. So maybe we'll have some more. But for now,
the Midnight Lost tapes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a big Use Your Illusion box set coming out.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it then.
Right. See, now, you've got to start doing like the anniversary releases of albums where you include like the Metallica box sets.
Oh, damn.
All the demos and all of the live shit so
the humming riffs over answering machines.
Yes,
I still have an answering machine. Yeah.
Absolutely. So do you all record all of your live shows?
I don't know. I mean, that's up to Vanek. I mean, he's like the tech guy, so he sometimes carries along stuff to do whatever, but I don't know exactly what he does.
Okay.
I know on this last tour they recorded something in Detroit, and it sounded pretty good. But I don't know. I don't know if they record everything.
Okay.
I'm sure they could record some stuff.
Because it seems like a lot of bands do that now. I know my band's been doing it for a few years, where we've just went and whether it be on a handheld recorder, whether it be through the board, something, we've tried to do that. And I think it's a big dynamic. A lot of people have been doing that lately.
Yeah. I mean, it's I guess it's the technology, man. It's so fucking easy. Whereas before it was like a kind of a big deal. It's like, oh man, you recorded us live. How did you do that? Or if it's a board tape, the board tape was just bass drum and vocals, with no guitar and stuff like that. It usually sounded somewhat shitty, no audience. So, but now that it's easy to do anything you want except to be polite to others. That's very difficult.
Very much. Very, very much. So I do want to ask about this as well. The most recent tour with, of course, Creator and Merciful Fate.
Yes.
Wow.
How was it touring with the King? Yeah.
Oh man, we hung out all the time, man. We were playing poker and hitting strip clubs and dominoes. I mean, we were just chatting it up all the time,
Awesome.
But pretty much just the opposite of that. Actually, what I just said. No, I mean they were. I think I talked with them once for maybe a minute or two. Just basically said hello. I think he thanked us just for being on the tour and said if we need anything, just let somebody know. So I mean they're as polite as they could be. I mean for a band of professional dudes just doing their job and keeping to themselves kind of thing. So I mean it was cool. The crew is totally pro and nice to us. We're just low life fuck faces from Cleveland driving around in a van. So they're a big production with 2 tour buses, 2 semis and shit. So for them to have us out is to be low life creeps that we are was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, you definitely must have impressed the King and Hank to even get the spot. Yeah. I mean, it was. We talked to Hank Sherman for a minute too, and he's still an old rocker, and is into
good shit, just talking with him about certain riffs that I hear that, Merciful Fate had ripped off over the years, like from Pat Travers and certain things. So, and he's like, oh yeah, still listen to that stuff. And, he was appreciative that I picked out the riffs that they stole. So it was cool.
You say that, and I think it's hilarious because I think there's even Richie Blackmore commented one time about riffs that he stole, which, like Smoke on the Water was Beethoven's Fifth, but backwards.
Yeah.
So even Richie
Black
Blackmore
Knight is the same thing as like Blues Magoos. It's nothing new. Everybody does it,
right?
So
yeah,
it's just like Athena said. You just have to make it your own and make it sound like you.
Yeah.
So and anybody anybody can play a fucking A chord, but when you hear Angus Young hit that A chord, you can tell right away that it's Angus Young hitting that A chord.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much, and to the same degree of what you just said, I apply that same thing to a stage. Whether or not 5 dudes, 3 dudes, 9 dudes, depending on the band, getting on stage and playing music is one thing, but adding that show in there, adding even just a backdrop or whatever, when you add that show factor to it, that's when you change.
Your stage setup was so fucking cool. We saw you with the King, and fucking that stage setup was awesome.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bare bones, but that's why I like it. I like. I mean, just like you said, if you're gonna go on stage or whatever, and whether you like it or not, you're a performer. So. If you're going up there and just staring at your guitar and just looking at your shoes, that's fine. That's the way you perform. That's great. But for heavy metal and that kind of music that we play, and I just don't want to sit there. It makes you want it should force you to at least pump your fist. Like kick somebody. Like raise your fist or bang your head or do something physical.
Yeah.
It's not something where you're going to be just rubbing your chin and smoking a pipe, like, yeah.
Like Duck Gun?
The fucking people sitting next to us at the show were, oh my God, they were so fucking boring. They sat there, literally the lady sat there with her arms crossed during you guys, and I was like rocking the fuck out, and I kept looking at Mark going, what is wrong with these people? Like, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah, well, we'll try harder next time to get the lamos foots a tapping.
To be fair, it wasn't just during you guys. They even did that during Creator and King and Merciful Fate.
Okay. Was it a pair, like a husband and wife type of thing?
I think it was a son and a daughter, or a son and a mother.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Well, maybe they had some kind of argument. Maybe the son didn't want to go, but the mom forced him, or vice versa, or some shit.
Maybe.
I could totally see that old. I mean, sitting next to Athena at a show is great, because especially when you're in seats, because she will actually sit there and start like moshing against everybody in the seats, which is funny as hell.
Heck yeah, why not?
Well,
You want to get to know your neighbor, like in church when they say turn to your left and shake your neighbor's hand or whatever the fuck, Same thing. If you're at a gig,
I've never been to. No, I'm kidding.
You never been to church? Maybe you should go there. It's nice to infiltrate your enemy.
Yes, that's one of the things when you texted me about. It was like, hey man, is Sunday good? You're like, the Lord's Day is fine. So obviously, I want to touch on this as well before we get into some general questions with you. Is the anonymity of Midnight, the hoods, then the blacked out faces. What was the genesis of that?
Well, actually, I was listening to Genesis, and it was Peter Gabriel's dressing up like a flower pot was it was not. No, it was basically kind of like what I just mentioned before about like being on stage and it is performance. I mean, you want to have a look. The Ramones have a look. It's a simple look and it's genius. Whether they didn't really, I don't know if they did that really on purpose or however it is. It evolved into what it is. But I mean, it's good to have, I think, a somewhat a uniform look as a band. I mean, you don't want one guy up there that's big, tall, fat with a beard, another guy that's scrawny and glasses, and it's like okay, I mean, it's cool, but you got to have some kind of something that binds you together and makes you an actual band. My opinion.
Yeah.
So, and also me, I just look like a fucking moron anyway. So it's better just to cover up as much of my face as you can because, I don't have cool dreadlocks or anything cool about me. So, best covered up and then just have something like a blank canvas to work with. I think it would be better.
Sometimes it's best left to the viewer's imagination anyway.
Exactly. There you go.
Right.
Yep.
And when you say it like that, it kind of reminds me of the line in Beetlejuice from Lydia Dietz when she finds the Maitlands under the sheets and she says, "Are you gross under there? Are you all blood scars and pus under there?" And it's like, yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, and that's another thing too. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that too, just about imagination, because it seems the world. People should use their imagination more about anything. It's I hate to sound like an old bastard, but everybody wants everything spelled out for them, and what do you exactly mean? It's like, oh, you don't have to mean anything. It could be abstract. Use your imagination. Figure it out. Yeah. So. If you see that mask and you want to think of it in one way of what can be underneath there, or if you want to think of it as another way, like it's in a faceless expression or whatever the fuck you want, So it's up to the viewer / listener's choice, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And that's awesome. That's a great concept to have as a band. It's. In a way, it's very, like you said a minute ago, bare bones and straight to the point. And I think it makes the music talk more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for Midnight? What's 2023 gonna be?
Well, just it's a boring answer, but just more gigs. Because, like I said, I have a bunch of stuff recorded, and so I just still like to put out albums probably like every other year. So. With Rebirth by Blasphemy coming out in early 20, Let There Be Ritual 22, so the next album will be out early 24. So this is still playing catch up of touring for Rebirth and Witchery. So it's still just doing tours for that.
Definitely.
Why not?
More domestic dates, I'm sure. More world dates. I mean, is there anywhere?
Yeah. This will be. I mean, because shit, we haven't really done a good headline tour in years. And Corona, of course, didn't help that too. So, there's that to be edited out. And there's but it. Yeah, so we're just going to do a headlining tour in this year in the States, and then just do Euro tour, festival dates and shit like that.
Hell yeah!
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys come to our city, man. We're in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we are.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah. That's going to be awesome. We'll definitely have to be there for it. So, now, is there anywhere that you want to get back to that you haven't been to for a while, show-wise?
Like a city or country?
Yeah.
Japan is the first one that comes to mind. I mean, we played there in 2010, and it was great. So I would love to go back there. and that's the talk right now, maybe of next year to go back.
Wow, that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a really unique country, especially for like a dork record collector like myself, because the records there are, it's tough to get Japanese records in the States, and except if you go to Louisville. How far is Louisville from Cincinnati?
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay, there's a great store in Cincinnati. Hey Suburbia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hey Suburbia is fantastic. It's pretty much, the whole store is pretty much all Japanese pressings, and
nice.
Great store. But
Shaker Records has a pretty great selection too.
Oh yeah, that's a good store too. Oh yeah, I've been there.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'd love to get back to Japan, man. It's really unique. Yeah, when you go there, it's not like, okay, if you dump yourself off in the middle of Europe somewhere, you can say, oh, maybe I'm in Hungary, maybe I'm in Holland. But when you dump yourself in the middle of Tokyo, you definitely know you're in Tokyo.
Yeah, that's on the. I've never been out of the country, so that's going to be one of my plans for the next couple of years, is to try and go to Europe and try and go to Asia.
Oh yeah, you'll love it, man. If you guys go to like any of those big heavy metal festivals in Germany and shit, man, it's really cool. It's very unique. All the it's cool. I know you have a good time.
Hell yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and switch gears here. We're going to ask you some general profile questions about you, Athenar. You ready to go?
Let's do it, Mike Pruitt.
What was the first instrument you played, and what made you decide?
Skin flute at the age of 4. No.
Shit.
I'm sorry. that was a stupid answer.
And the other part of that was like one of the fast people who buzz in on Family Feud before you finish the question. Because the second half of that was, what made you decide to play that instrument?
Well, it was there. I was bored. I wasn't wearing pants, and that's what it was. No.
Oh my gosh.
But I was wearing a shirt around the neighborhood. A button-up shirt, no pants.
Donald Duck in it.
Donald Duck.
Seriously, it's Donald Duck. He wears a shirt
Fuck
and no
yeah,
pants.
Yeah.
Shirt, no pants, and a hat.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess I could answer it seriously. Would you say the first instrument and what?
Yeah, and what made you decide on that instrument?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it would be an acoustic guitar that my neighbor's sister had, and kind of just stole it from her, and started strumming on that, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't sound like Eddie Van Halen on this acoustic guitar. I was like, man, what the fuck? I see Eddie Van Halen playing guitar, and why doesn't this sound like it? It's like, that's how ignorant and I was about it. Just didn't really know anything. But when I first started to really play was a bass, and what made me want to play that was basically Gene Simmons. So, because I figured, if you want to spit blood, you got to play bass. You can't just play. You just can't spit blood without playing a bass. Otherwise, that's just rude.
Or throwing a flaming sword into a foam block.
Right, yeah. If you want to throw a flaming sword into a foam block, you have to have a base around you to do that, yeah.
Yes. And it either has to be shaped like an axe or that sweet-ass fucking BC Rich Punisher that he had.
Yeah, that is nice.
Which I love the Punisher base, so... They're just...
Or his old one, I think in the 70s he had the old Gibson Ripper or Grabber. I always get those confused.
Yeah.
But... yeah, badass stuff.
Like that's on the cover of Alive 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That crazy looking, and it has like the weird like triangle pick guard.
Yeah.
Do you ever struggle with self-doubt about your music career or abilities? And if you do...
I struggle with self-doubt. There's a part 2 again. I answered too quickly.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no, self-doubt, yeah, for sure, man. I'm from Cleveland. It's it's in our blood to be self-doubting, self-deprecating fucks.
Understandable. And I think, I think a lot of people deal with that, but how do you overcome it to keep going?
I honestly just don't care. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, because once you start caring about what someone else thinks about music that you make up, then it's going to be not pure. So just try and keep things as pure as possible. And that's one of the reasons why I still, like I said, no smartphone, all that kind of stuff. Just keep it as simple and as pure as possible. And watch Rocky 3 every once in a while to keep you street level.
Dude, yes. I actually just watched a one of those weird little minute-long videos about Rocky 3 the other day. And
oh, really?
Yeah, and it was did you know in Rocky 3 it was, and Mr. T took his mom to the movie premiere, and in the scene where he comes up and Rocky, it's like the public scene where Rocky's doing a personal appearance and Adrian's on. And
they talk about Adrian. He looks at Adrian and says,
I'll show you a real
heavy real man. Yeah.
Mr. T's mom slapped him and said, I didn't raise you like that, and walked out of the theater.
Wow.
And it's and so, that stuck in my head, and I was like, damn, she didn't even know. I mean, obviously, she thought he was playing himself, so.
Yeah. He must B.A. Baracus, I didn't teach you that. That's funny.
Athena, do you have anything for Athenar?
No, you actually asked the burning question I had. I was wondering about the veiled faces myself, and if it was a nod to just the executioner, type of thing, which I figured, it's it's just that executioner look. But
it's also a bit of to give other musicians a chance, because if we just went on stage without the masks, we would be so handsome and everybody would just, they would be following us around for autographs and want to take photos and have babies with us and things like that. So we want to give other people a chance. That's kind of what it is.
It's very noble of you guys.
Right.
Yes, that is quite gentlemanly of you. What was the first band T-shirt you felt super cool about wearing to fucking school?
All right, well, a Led Zeppelin one probably, because that was probably my first band shirt. So that they were and still are my idols. So Led Zeppelin, but the one that I felt super fucking cool about probably was King Diamond Abigail tour, because we went to see them. Let's see, it was July 21st, 1987. So it was in summer, obviously. So the first day of school, I was pumped going into 8th grade. I was like, all right, man, fucking wear my King Diamond shirt to fucking school. Hell yeah. So that was that. Fall of 87. Wearing a King Diamond shirt to school, I probably felt pretty cool.
How big was the venue you saw them in 87?
The Fantasy Theater, which is probably about, I want to say 500, 600 people.
Wow.
700 maybe. It's King Diamond in Trouble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, great.
That is great, amazing. I was just showing Athena a place that Motorhead played at in this little small town in New Albany, Indiana, actually where I live. It was a place called the Grand Theater, and it's probably about a 400 or 500 seat place as well that they played in 1988.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the lean years for Motorhead. People don't realize that. Yeah, but in 86 they played here at a place called Shadows, and it's probably maybe even 200. It's a small little teeny club, probably about 300, a little club.
Oh yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
10 years after that fact with Motorhead, they played a club in Louisville called the Toy Tiger, if you've ever heard of it. And it was a small ass little place too, and maybe 300 people, and they were on tour with Morbid Angel then.
Okay, yeah, I saw that tour.
Yeah.
They played the Agora here in Cleveland on that one. Yeah.
Nice. What current artist inspires you the most?
Current artiste that inspires me. See, that's a question I have to think about because, like I said, man, I'm fucking stuck in my bubble. So I mean, when you ask me about current affairs, I really don't. I have to claim ignorance. I know there's bands that I see and bands that I like, but a lot of them. I mean, just because I'm stuck in the metal stuff, it's still kind of. I like them because they remind me of another band that I like, basically. And that's a cheap answer, I know. That's not something an artistic person should say. But it's the stuff that I love most is still the stuff that I liked as a kid, and I still love. And of course, it's always expanding upon, but I'm still stuck in that 12-year-old brain, man.
Definitely. I mean, I get what you're saying there. It's like you see a band and it's like, yeah, I can pick out the Venom in this or the Motorhead, and
yeah, I mean it's good stuff. You hear it and it's like, wow, those are good songs. But at the end of the day, when I come home and I'm putting on tunes to do some home exercise or whatever the hell, I'm putting on Frost, I'm putting on Twisted Sister, putting on Sodom. So
right on.
it's the that's the shit that still gets me pumped up and jazzed up. Yeah,
definitely. So which is worse, loading into a venue or loading out after the show?
Definitely the load out. Yeah, that's probably an easy question. Loading out is sucky because it's late. You're fucking tired. Yeah, that's the worst.
That's something I also wanted to ask you about the Merciful Fate tour and everything, because as you said, we're just driving around in a van and bare bones, and they've got buses and crew and all. Do you all take anybody with you, or are you all just ripping shit off stage as fast as you're done playing when it's a show like, say, in the Brady Center in Cincinnati?
Well, for those type of shows, for example, those places all have hired stagehands. So for the people that rip all the stuff off the stage, yeah, they got stagehands that do that, and they literally do just take it and throw it off the stage. So that's cool. So you got that part to do that, but we do have for example, for that last tour, we had our merch guy Rodney, who always goes everywhere with us, and our sound guy and tech extraordinaire Brian. So between all of us, it's a good team.
Okay. So you're running, excluding any spouses that might come on the road with anybody. So you're running about six, 7 people usually.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, three band members, and then and then Brian and Rodney.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a nice, quaint little group, and
fuck yeah,
hell yeah. And it's always
because there's not too many people that want to be around me at that time. So if that's the only amount of people that can handle me. Yeah. Anything more than that.
Definitely. So I got a few more for you. What was the first album you purchased?
The first album I purchased, let's see, would probably be. Well, I remember. Let's see. This was '83. I had Men at Work, Business as Usual. What the hell else? There was Michael Jackson, Thriller, because that was that period. Frampton's Come Alive. Yeah, it was just everywhere. and yeah, those were the two records that I had at that time. And then once I heard Van Halen, then it was all over. So and then hearing that guitar solo on Beat It was kind of the impetus of wanting to hear more of what this guy had to offer. So yeah.
I want to ask that to Athena too. What was the first album you had ever bought, Athena?
Well, the first album I bought, or the first album that was given to me.
I would say bought, the one that, you know, that you took the money and were like, I've got to have this.
Okay, I got to think about that. What was it? It would have been at that time. Oh, it was Ministry's Psalm 69.
Ooh.
That's a good album.
That is.
Yeah, it's a very good album. That's the first one I bought because my family actually, you were talking about being really simple and stuff, Athenar, and my mom and dad didn't really believe in, like, you know, there was one phone in the whole house, and we had, like, one TV, and, like, we didn't even have a DVD player, or, I mean, at that time, a VHS player for the longest time. We never had Nintendos. We didn't have a computer. Like, we didn't have, like, any of that stuff. So I didn't get a CD player or my own radio until I was 17 years old. I was 17 when my dad finally let me have my own stereo in my bedroom. So
Damn.
I listened to whatever I could on his stereo in the living room. But my dad was an old school metalhead, so he had all these amazing, like, Nazareth and Deep Purple and Sabbath and all this on vinyl that I would listen to. So that's
hell yeah.
like, well, so I started out, you know, listening to Sabbath and all that with my dad really young. So when I finally got a stereo at 17 years old for personal use, yeah, the first album I went out and bought was Psalm 69.
Cool.
Yeah. Long-winded explanation. Sorry.
No, that's awesome. That's a great
I had a
album.
similar experience too. Like the first Black Sabbath I heard was Paranoid too, because it was in my mom's record cabinet for some reason, and she didn't even know what it was, or I'm like, I don't know how it got there. You know, and I put on, it's like, holy shit, you know, this stuff rules.
Oh,
and,
my dad was an old school metalhead, like original metalhead. You know, like
cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, she's told me stories about, you know, sitting in the floor, rocking back and forth to Black Sabbath when she was like 4 years old and shit. So it's funny.
Lucky
yeah,
girl.
my dad told me I would sit in front of the speaker and rock back and forth, especially when he put on Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
that was like my favorite, even as like a little kid.
How can you not? Yeah, I put on Lord of this World, and you're just like, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So I have one more question for you, but before we do, as always, links are listed below, so please give a like, a share, and a follow. Go support bands in any way you can. You know, go to the shows, buy merch, just fucking support, because that's what it's all about. And fuck yeah. Do you have any shout outs you want to throw out at anybody today?
No shouts. No, I would rather just shake their hand and be polite. But no shouting. If I do shout, I stand up and do it. So.
And you do it under a black mask on stage with a
stand up and shout.
Bass. Stand up and shout.
And when I do shout, I shout it out loud.
Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
That's. No.
You left Mark speechless. That's
you
hilarious.
left me speechless on this.
Yeah.
Well, when you shout, you know, you have to let it all out, because these are the things that we can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you.
Just shout at the devil.
Yeah, just shout at the devil. That's what it comes down to. But you know, that title always confused me too, because I got. You know, when I was a kid, I got that album. I was like, "Shout at the devil!" Wow, shout! I'm like, but it should be like, "Shout with the devil."
Yeah.
You know? I was like, why would you want to shout at the devil? You know, probably seems like pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucked up.
Unless you're trying to get his attention.
That's fucked up. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, you should shout along with them.
I have a friend in a band who is in a Motley Crue foodie band. and they're called
What?
Yeah, they write songs about about eating. And they're called Fatly Crew.
It's great.
Oh my God, what the fuck? Yeah.
And they have that song title is called Shout at the Waitress.
Oh damn. Oh shit.
And that's true. That is a true story.
Wow. I got to look into that band. That seems like now you talk about like, okay, the question that you asked me before, current artists who are inspiring to me, it would be Fatly Crew. Yeah.
Yes. So, final question of the day, and we're going to end this on a positive note here, because we don't usually do that, because usually I ask you, well, what do you think happens after you die? But today we're going to say...
Well, I usually ask, how do you want to commit suicide?
Right.
Not making fun of that topic, but anyway,
No.
yeah, just trying to go over the top with it.
Of course. What is the best thing about being you?
What? that is way positive. When you're looking in a mirror, what do you say? I don't know,
I like myself.
I'm a good person. I'm doing well for others. People like me.
And people like me. Yeah.
Stuart Smalley.
Yeah.
Shout out to April for that, because she always gives me that. She's like, and darn well, people like me.
Oh man, but okay, what was the question again?
What is the best thing about being Athenar?
Oh, well, I would say the best thing about me is that about being Athenar is being able to play rummy and drink coffee. It's about as good as it gets.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with either of those. I am a huge coffee fanatic, and I would love to learn how to play rummy. I play other card games.
Mark, you've played rummy.
Oh, is that what we're playing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then okay. She's kicking my ass like hardcore. We haven't played for a few months, so that's what made me forget it. And we were playing to like 10,000, and fucking she's like 3,000 points ahead of me.
Oh man, hell yeah!
It's basically the never-ending rummy game, but apparently Mark didn't even know we were playing. So
yes.
Do you play for money, like a penny a point or something?
Oh fuck! Maybe we should.
Yeah, you got to. You got to have some incentive.
Yeah, I'll say, well, Mark, you'd have to pay up, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'd owe you like fucking like a couple $100 at this point. Fuck.
Right.
Yeah, it's all. And it's not about the money. It's about the degrading element of it. Like, even if it's 75 cents, like, pay up, bitch. Like, give me that 75 cents that you owe me. It's like degrading sports things. Like, what's more degrading, a quarterback sack or having the ball rejected at the hoop? Like, what's more degrading? So yeah, that's the element that I like. It's the degradingness of it.
Right.
Even if you just play for 60 cents.
You just kind of mentioned something there. It's like, what would be more degrading, getting the quarterback sack or the ball deflected at the hoop? I think it would be, if I was in a hockey, it would be hitting the crossbar.
That's the most. Wow. Okay. See, wow. Okay. I like that.
That would piss me off. Like, ugh, I'd be so fucking aggravated. And in baseball, being hit by the fucking pitcher.
But at least, at least when you get hit by the pitcher, you get to take first base. Like, oh, fuck you. All right. Well, but you get to take first base. Like, when you just get rejected at the rim. It's like, oh, it's like, in your face, fucker, and then what are you going to do about it?
Right. Yeah.
You get sacked by a quarterback, and even the worst is a sack, force fumble, scoop, and run for a touchdown. The most degrading thing that can happen to a sports player.
Yeah, the fumble.
The fumble and somebody else recovering and fucking scoring on your ass. Yep.
Yeah, that's like, but anyway, I didn't mean to turn that into a sports interview. It's supposed to be about Fatley crew.
Yes. Yes. Dude, Athenar, thank you so fucking much for coming on the show this week. This has been completely a blast and fun as shit.
Cool. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Tina.
Yeah, thank you, man.
On our way out from Let There Be Witchery, what do you want to play?
You know what? Let's do Devil Virgin.
Oh, yeah. As you heard him, this from Midnight, Devil Virgin.
Devil Virgin. Cool.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code MetalForge10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.